Hey, good evening. Come on in, do me a favor, and as you come in, share this broadcast. Hey, come on in and share. Come on in, like and share. Tag somebody, let them know that we're here. Hey, Michelle, thank you for joining me. We're talking confidential conversations. It's late evening. I'm not going to be loud today. I'm just going to be talking in my little girl voice. Hey, everybody, come on in, like and share this broadcast. Let somebody know that we're here. I'm sharing now, so do that for me. Go in and share this broadcast with somebody. Let them know that we're here. We're going to be talking confidential conversations. Yay, I'm excited. I'm hitting my East Coast people. I know they're probably sleeping, but I'm going to try and hit them up anyway. Come on in, everybody. Do me a favor. Hey, everybody. Hey, Pastor Greg. Come on in, everybody. Thank you. Thank you for joining me. This is day one of our conversation. Hey, Deshaun. Thank you for joining me. Let's see who else is on here. Hey, Michelle. Hey, Disha. I love you, Disha. Hey, Kathy Mackey. Happy Veterans Day to you, dear. Hey, Greg. Good to see you, brother. Hey, everybody. Thank you for joining me. This evening, we are talking confidential conversations. To those of you who, after the broadcast this day, purchased my book, thank you. I will send those books out tomorrow. Yep, we will send them out tomorrow. I do have a few copies here on hand that I can send out. If you have not gotten the book, because that's what we're talking from. If you have not gotten the book, go to my website, LaTanya D. Walker. Hey, Colleen Banks, LaTanyaDWalker.org. Hey, Cynthia, honey, love you. Good to see you. LaTanya D. Walker. Hey, sweetie. Hey, Sylvia. LaTanyaDWalker.org. And purchase my book. If somebody who knows me and know how to spell my name, can you put that on the screen for me? Whoever knows how to spell my name, put it on the screen, LaTanyaDWalker.org. Do me a favor. I've only seen a few of you share this broadcast. Hey, Lady D, I love you. Share the broadcast. Let them know that we're here. I'm not going to be long, but I do want to start the conversation. Really quickly. We have about 15 people on here. Let's see if we can get about 35 or 40 people on this broadcast. But we're going to be talking today. I know over the past couple of weeks. Nope, let me go back. Let me tell y'all who I am for those of you who don't know me. I'm LaTanya Walker. I am an author of this wonderful dynamic book, Confidential Conversations. And what it is, it's a 21-day devotional. It's not your typical devotional. It's not a book that you will have to go in and write a scripture and pray over it and meditate over it. It's a book that's going to force you, women specifically, to go in and figure out who you are. It's a book that's going to challenge you to change what's not working in your life, okay? And so I'm going to be talking about that today. This book is a book, and I don't know how this conversation is going to go. It's been a busy day, but we're just going to let it go with the flow, and however it goes, it's going to be it. We're going to try to have some fun. I said earlier today that at some point throughout the course of the broadcast, I'll probably be asking some of you to share your stories if you're bold enough to share your stories so that somebody else can be healed by the words of your testimony. But listen to me. This book, what is Confidential Conversations about? Hey, Brother Cheston, how are you? This book, Confidential Conversations, is a story about a woman who was bruised and broken. She had, at one point, everything that she thought she could have. She had a nice job, or I'll say a nice business. She lived in a nice place. She drove a nice car. She had everything that she thought she could have. And the day that she said yes to God was the day that her whole world decided to turn upside down. That's the day that the world began to challenge her. Everything about her began to open up. And so it was a time in her life that she had to sit still and figure out what was really going on with her. And she began to have conversations, and I'm talking in third person, but the she is me. So she began to have conversations with God about what was wrong, what was broken in her. She began to have conversations with her friends, her girlfriends, and started to ask them what were some of the things that were keeping them from hitting that glass ceiling, and not just hitting the ceiling, but pushing through it. And oftentimes women, we can get to the glass ceiling, but we can't bust through it. We know how to do some things, but we don't have the push. Hey Shannon, we don't, happy birthday sister. We don't have the push to get us through that thing. And so Confidential Conversations is 21 days that God looked at me, and he and I had conversations, and he forced me to unveil my mask. And so that's what this whole Confidential Conversations with LaTanya is about. It's about a book that I wrote that God forced me to write after having these conversations with him and saying, look, girl, you're broken. Hey, Yvette, look, girl, you got some stuff going on. So women, how many of have these things? And men, if you can relate, because see, you probably have a wife or a girlfriend that you don't quite understand why she's going through what she's going through, why she can't really love you the way that she wants to love you, why can't she really express her feelings to you and let you have all of her the way that she has. And most of the time, if not all of the time, it's because she's hiding something and she don't want you to know about it. So this book, Confidential Conversations, again, is a book about triumph. It's about perseverance. It's about pain. It's about failure. It's everything that we go through as women. And so here I was when I wrote this book. I'm sitting at the same table that I was sitting at 3 years ago, 3 years ago when I wrote this book. Share this broadcast. Thank you, Deisha. I'm sitting at the same table that I wrote this book, and I'm having this conversation with God. Why me? All I wanted to do, God, was be who you've called me to be, and now my business is gone. And so now I don't have the things. And so here it is. We're going to go through this journey. And it's not just my journey. Women, if you can relate, if you have some masks, and let me tell you what masks are. Masks are fears that we have. We walk into a room, and we don't want the world to know that we're irritated. So we put on that fake smile. We don't want the world to know that we're sick today. And so we walk in and we pretend that we're okay. We're pretending that all is well, because that's what people tell us we're supposed to do. We failed at something, but we don't want the world to know that we're failures. We've been in a relationship that's abusive, but we don't want the world to know that he hit us, that he talked about us, that he said some nasty nothings to us that tried to take away our self-esteem. This book is about that woman who is the businesswoman who has it all together but can't seem to get it together. It's about the woman who has it all, but she can't seem to keep herself together. She's falling apart, but she's still walking in the room pretending she's masking. So your mask could be a mask of fear. It could be a mask of failure. It could be a mask of, oh, he touched me and I haven't forgiven them. It could be a mask of, I resent myself because I wasn't the best mother. I wasn't the best daughter. I wasn't the best sister. It's a mask of sometimes we don't even like ourselves, but we pretend. Come on. And if we can be real with ourselves and start talking to ourselves, opening up a conversation about what is it that really hurts us? What is it that really have us in a place where we can't push forward? So that's what this book is about. It's about getting to that place where you can be real with nobody else but yourself. Right? And so that's what it was for me. I went through this day, and I'm going to go over chapter 1. Chapter 1, I entitled it Bruised but Not Broken. And that's because God told me, LaTanya, yeah, it bruised you. They hurt your feelings. All the stuff that happened in your world. Yeah, it happened. It hurt you. It scarred you a little bit, but it didn't break you. It took you to a place where I had to get you. And sometimes brokenness with God, the way that he does things with us, he'll allow certain things to happen in our lives just so he can push us to the level. He'll allow some things to happen in our lives so that he can get us to that last place where we don't have a place to go but to him. And that's where I was in this bruised but broken place. And I think I have some people on here who kind of know my story. I was in that place where my business is on track. We were on track to make our first million. And I love to tell that story because now I realize it was God and it wasn't me. We were on track to make our first million. Hey, Chuck. And as we were in this place of making our first million, we had, and I got folk on here who can confirm this. We had some of the top majors as our clients in oil and gas and in transportation. We had some big people as clients. And so my business was doing pretty good. But here I wasn't doing what God needed me to do. And so God broke me. And I remember the day that I said yes to my call as a minister. So I'm here as an author, but I remember that day that I accepted my call as a minister. But then I remember the day I was sitting upstairs in my loft, and I remember the phone call that I got, the very first phone call I got that said, thank you, but no thank you. We don't need you going into 2015. And then after I got that phone call, I got the second call, and then I got the third call, and then I got the fourth call, and now I'm in 2015 and I don't have any clients. I don't have any clients. I don't know how I'm going to eat. I don't know how I'm going to pay my bills. I don't know how I'm going to do what I'm supposed to do. But I knew that I was supposed to hold on. And so here it was, I had gone through month 3. I'm in February now, and I have a contract, and I love to tell the stories now, $275,000 contract that I couldn't hold on to because God said, that's not your money. It's dirty money. How do you feel, lady, when you are at the peak of your business, when you've received awards for being, a burgeoning business, when you've received accolades for being on top, to be in the pinnacle of your business, yet you can't get to the top of where you got to be because you're broken? And you're broken because you don't know how to manage your finances. You're broken because you don't know how, again, remember I said we have it, but we don't know how to hold it together. That's the thing. Those are the masks that started to come on. Think about the mask that you're having on right now. What's going on in your life right now that you decided, you know what, I'm not going to deal with it today. I'm just going to throw on a mask. And I'm not talking about makeup. I'm not talking about makeup that we're putting on. I'm talking about the mask of insecurity. How many of us are walking around insecure, not knowing that we are fearfully and wonderfully made? How many of us are wearing the mask of hurt? Because they hurt us. They left us. And I don't know how to deal with it because they left me. That's what that's what these conversations are about. That's what God had to force in my face. And I had to get real with me. So I'm not begging you to go get the book, but I challenge you to go get the book. Not so we can have these conversations together, so that we women can get together virtually. And if possible, we can get together intimately in circles and start talking about what is it that hurt us, that we've held on to? What is it that we've allowed to go dormant in us? That now when we get a man, because we've prayed for a man and God sent the man, you can't hold the man because you got bad attitude. Come on. You ask God to send you him. And you're in position to get him. You're there and he comes along, but you're so broken you can't hold on to him. You don't know how to treat him because you can't treat yourself right. Come on. How many of us are in this place because we've lost something? Be it a husband, a boyfriend, a car, a job, a child, whatever it is that we've lost. We didn't release it and heal from it. Confidential conversations. It's an intimate 21-day journal that will have you looking at you, the real you. And it'll have you in a place where you're asking yourself, God, show me. That's what I want this book to be about. That's what I want these conversations moving forward to be about. God, show me. Who am I behind the mask? What am I hiding so the world don't see me hurting? Self-worth. A lot of us don't know that we're fearfully and wonderfully made because we've been talked about so badly, not just from a man, but from our parents. We've been talked about so badly from our siblings. We've been talked about so bad from the sister that we trusted. We've been dogged out. Darts been thrown in our back because we've trusted people. We've given people us, our heart, yet they turned on us. And so now we don't feel like we're worth it. Now we don't feel that like we can do what we're supposed to do. Come on. I need you to talk back to me because this is conversations. Even though it's with me, I want somebody to talk back to me so that we can engage in conversation, so that the conversations can begin. And I know some of you have hidden hurts that you may not want to disclose, but if not in this forum, let it be in a forum that we can get together. Come on, Arlene, take off whatever mask, because here's what I know about the mask, what I learned. Hey, Laura, one of the masks that I wore because I didn't want people to think, and I'm not going to go too far in the book, I didn't want people to think, not that necessarily that I was better than them, but because I didn't have my degree, I always wanted to show people up. I always wanted you to know that I was smart. So I always, if I failed at one thing, and one of my friends would always tell me, she said, you're very resourceful. You're the Olivia Pope of small business. Like, you can fix anything. And I'm not bragging, but what it was me. Every time I would fail at something, I would reinvent myself. I would quickly reinvent myself because I never wanted you to see me sweat. How many of us are walking around right now never wanting people to see them sweat? And so because you don't want people to, it sounds cute to say it. Oh, I don't want you to see me sweat. That's crazy. See me sweat. You don't want people to see you sweat because you don't want them to know that you're not perfect. You don't want the world to know that you're broken. So you walk around masking, thinking it's okay. It's not, because the longer you mask, the longer you go into this thing where it's a habitual thing that it's keeping you from a relationship where you need to be with God. It's a place that at some point or another, God is going to challenge you and he's going to break it. And what you don't want is for God to break you. I've been there. It took him 2 years to break this bull. 2 years. This tourist, I call myself the bull. It took God 2 years to break me because I refused to let go. I refused to allow him. Come on. Daddy used to say, never let them see you down or they will kick you up. But that's not true, Laura. That's the way the world has put in our head that we are not supposed to allow people to see us down. I'm not saying walk into a room, oh, whoa, it's me. But you got to be real with the situation. You got to have faith in who he is and know that, yeah, I got this issue, but I'm trusting in the one who can fix the issue. So the world has us thinking that we can't let them see us cry. We can't let them see us fall. We can't let them. The devil is a liar. Why can't you let them see you cry? Why can't you let them see you vulnerable? Because it's at that moment that you're vulnerable that things can begin to turn around for you. I've been there. I've been in that place where I didn't want you to see me. And I'm going to keep repeating that because I tag that. I don't ever want to let you see me sweat. Why? Because I'm bad. I'm big. I'm bad. I'm bold. You know, I'm that girl. I don't want you to see me at my weakest because I've walked around with this mask on my face like I got it together. But here's what I'm going to ask you. And think about this. How long can you carry that mask that you're wearing? Because some of us, as I wrote in this book, have become mask aficionados. If I got some cigar smokers out there, we know what that means. You're a perfectionist at cigars. You know how to master, you know the tobacco, you know the leaf, you know the ring, you know everything about a cigar. Look at me, I knew, right? But how many of us are mask aficionados? Well, we have perfected the art of masking who we are. That we wear wigs. Because we don't want people to see our kinky hair. Come on, I'm just going to leave that right there. I'm going to just leave that real quick right there. We wear weave, women. It ain't nothing wrong with it. But we mask it because we feel it's something wrong with who we are. I don't have a mask, but that's right. So you have to surrender it to God. Yeah, we have to be able to, Lord, that's right, surrender whatever it is to God. We don't have to walk into the room and say, look at me, I'm broken. But we should still be able to go. Yes, I have seen you without the wig, honey. I've seen you without that wig, girl. So but that's the beauty of it. That you can walk, that you're so confident in yourself, like Laura was with me, bless her heart, that she was able to show me who she was without it. Come on. Thank you, Pat. Thank you, Elder Terry. Thank you. So we have to get to that place that we're not afraid to show the world that we are broken. That's why I'm going to keep saying that. Because it's when you're broken that God can say, now I can take her. I'm the potter. You're the clay. I can take you and remake you again. I can take you and make you what you were supposed to be from the beginning, because now you're in a place broken, in a place where I can process you. I can prune you. I can send you and take you through this thing. But here's the thing. Because somebody asked me, and I wrote this in the book, how long does the breaking process last? And the breaking process lasts as long until you are willing to surrender. So the moment you surrender to God's will, the moment you put your hands up and say, God, I quit. I'm surrendering. I don't want to be in this place. That's the moment that he can take you and say, okay, I'm going to ease up the pressure. He ain't going to stop the pressure, but he's going to ease up the pressure, because God, just like a black diamond, come on, just like a black diamond, God has to process you. He has to prune you. He has to take you through some stuff. He got to put you through the pressure. He has to test you for authenticity. He has to see if you really want what you say you want from him. And so the breaking process, and I'm kind of all over the place, but the breaking process lasts as long as you're in this place where you don't want to surrender. So here's the question again about the mask. How many masks are you really holding up? How many? Because for a long time I had a mask of fear. I had a mask of success, fear of success. How about that? Not a mask of fear of failure. I masked my fear of success because I had fallen many times before and had reinvented myself just as many times before. But here's where it was. I was afraid to succeed. How many of you have ever been in a place where you have been afraid to succeed? Afraid to get it again because you're afraid you might lose it again. So I had a mask of fear of success. I had a mask of acceptance. I had all these masks, but at some point, and I love this analogy, you're holding your mask, and at some point, your hand is going to get tired, and it's going to start to unveil, and it's going to start to show the real you. But here's what you don't want it to do. You don't want it to be a public show. You don't want that mask to be a public show. A necessity to walking free in Christ is unveiling. Kathy, a necessity is a necessity. Living authentic is the necessity. Society has us so fake, we don't know how to be real. Come on. Society have us in this place where we don't know what real is. Because we're so busy masking. We're so busy becoming artificial. We don't know what authentic is. We don't know what authenticity is, genuineness is. Unveil me, come on. And and Michelle, you have to be really sincere about asking God to unveil. Because what will happen is not until your mouth and your heart match that he can begin to really unveil it. We got to be careful when we ask him for it. He's going to give it to you, but are you ready? Are you ready for what he's about to do? I'm going to ask these questions. What is it that you're doing right now that you know you're not supposed to be doing right now? And you keep doing that thing over and over and over, and he keeps convicting your spirit. Hey, Troy Hogan, he keeps convicting your spirit over and over and over. That's that thing he's about to break. Look, that thing right there, that thing that you keep, every time you do it, he say, don't do that one. Not that. And you do it anyway. Come on. You do it, you say something anyway. You go, I ain't gonna go, this is, see the men on here, so I'm gonna go there at some point. The very thing that you keep doing habitually, that's not of God, that's not right, that's the very thing that God is going to start to break. So let me get to chapter 1 really quick, and then I'm going to go. So listen, go get my book really quickly. It's on my website, latanyadwalker.org. There are absolutely no O's in my name. So it's Latanya, all A's, D Walker. .org. Go get the book. Hey, Shawana, thank you for joining me. That's the one who told me, y'all. Had she not answered the phone that day, I don't know where life would be with me. But here we are on the day that I was broken and that God took me in this place, and I knew the process had started. And so in this, I go from this place again, a place of not really knowing where I was. And I began to ask God to show me me. And when he started to show me me, I really wasn't excited about who he showed me, because where I thought I was good, because I had masked it so much. I had become a perfectionist at masking, an aficionado at masking. When he really started to show me me, I didn't like me. And that's what happens when God begins to show us, because we've been fake for so long, because we don't know what authenticity is. We don't know how to live authentic. When he show us the real us, it's ratchet. What is it that you're doing right now? The thing that you, come on. So so when God starts to show you kind of ratchet. When he starts to show you your real bad attitude, when he starts to show you why you and your husband really can't get along, when he starts to show you why you really can't keep no job, why you really can't keep no friends, come on. When he starts to show you why you really can't excel to the next level, God will start to show you when you ask him, God, show me. Show me why. And so when he started to break me, when I lost this business, when I gave up this business, God asked me, what's your sacrifice? What you gonna do? You say you want me, what's your sacrifice? And so I got into this place where I had been considered. I tell people I went from a place of being Job to being Jonah. I went from being Jonah and then I became Gideon. So I lived out almost all the good characters in the Bible, right? I had been in that place where he was breaking me, but he was processing me because he knew it was something better in me. So I lost everything. I lost everything. And I'm going to say it again. I lost everything. Self-esteem. I lost dignity from people and friends. I lost friends because I didn't have it like I used to have it. I lost everything. Come on. But I still had to go through the process of being processed for purpose. Masking. And even in that time, you never saw me sweat. Not bragging on it because I was still masking. But at some point, God had to show me, let it go. And watch how I allow you to go through what you're going through, and they'll never know that you've been through it. So I'm in that place now that I'm still going through it, but you don't know unless I tell you I'm going through it, because I don't look like what I've been through. I don't talk like what I've been through. I'm not crying. I'm not asking you for a handout. I don't look like what I've been through. Confidential conversations. Hey, Rose, girl, we need this in a book club. Rose, y'all need to get this book in a book club. Listen. So confidential conversations, think about what's going on with you right now. And I need to get my glasses because I turned off some lights because I wanted to be, in this place. I wanted to be in this place. So listen, I'm going to read just a little bit of the book, on a little bit of this. I'm not going to read it long, I promise, because I got to do some homework. So where are we? I started off in chapter 1. I just said, can I be honest with you? It was not long ago that I saw myself like the world saw me. Brokenness, like the world saw brokenness. Ugly, unwanted, and useless. That was until I totally surrendered my all and decided I would no longer do life on my own. No, I didn't contemplate suicide, at least not this time. Instead, I began to completely lean and depend on the power of God in every aspect of my life because I was tired of doing things on my own. For years, I had claimed to be a faith walker, but I was a hypocrite. The words I spoke and the things that I said about myself to myself didn't seem to line up. How many of us are lying to ourselves? We say stuff to ourselves about ourselves that's not true. It contradicts everything that it's supposed to be. And so here I was saying stuff to myself about myself that didn't line up with who I truly felt. And so I had begun to sink into this place that nobody really knew. It was called depression. But I started to mask it, and it didn't look like depression because I still laughed. But I went into this place of depression. It still gets me. So I remember like yesterday, it was a gorgeous fall morning, and there I was sitting in the office of my 1-bedroom loft apartment, reviewing a forecasted budget, blah, blah, blah. Listen to me. And I go on and I talk about how I lost it. But then unlike most people, fear really didn't hit me. At least not then, because a few months prior, I stopped running and accepted my call. That's when I told you everybody picked. It was like all y'all got together and said, we don't want to be her friend no more. We're going to call her all at the same time. Shannon, we all going to call at the same time, and we're going to tell her we don't want to be her friend no more. And all of my business stopped immediately. So in June, I said yes to God. In September, everybody called me and said, thank you, but no thank you. By December, I was trying to figure out what was I going to do. Hey, Tanya, I don't want you to come in live unless you got a testimony, girl. Okay. It said, I knew the moment I said yes that the enemy was going to be hard pressed after me. So I had an idea that I was being considered. I'm going to ask you this question. Have you guys ever considered, if you're going through something, that you're being considered by God? Have you ever considered that you're being considered? What is it that you're going through right now? And you keep blaming the devil. Oh, the devil on my back, the enemy hard pressed after me. What is it that you're dealing with right now that you haven't even thought that God said, have you considered my servant? That's where I was. I was in this place where God said to the enemy, have you considered LaTanya? Because see, I trust her. Have you considered Shannon? Have you considered Amber? Have you considered that you've been considered? And here I was in a place where I was being considered and didn't even know it. Listen to me. Listen to this conversation. I didn't even know that God was having this conversation about me with the enemy. I didn't know God trusted me that much. So here he was having a conversation with the devil saying, have you considered my servant LaTanya? Because she says she loves me. She says she'll go wherever I say that she'll go. Have you considered? And so when I went into my Job moment and started to lose everything, I had to hold tight. Because I had just told God I was going to walk with him. I was going to ride with him till the wheels roll off. I had just told him, God, wherever you send me, I'll go. And so whatever you take, God, I'm there. And so he asked me, what's your sacrifice? I was being considered in a place that I didn't know that I was having a Job moment. Some of you right now are going through some stuff. Yes, Kathy. Wow. Some of you are going through some stuff right now where God asked the enemy, have you considered them? Like, they know me, they love me, they trust me. Have you considered that they don't care what you take? I didn't know I was going to go through the stuff I went through. Come on, y'all. I didn't know I was going to have like everything taken away. I didn't know like I was going to go from like about $750,000 a year to like no money. I didn't know. But that's how it happened. Come on. Come on. Have you considered my servant? And so here I was. So I remember calling, and I don't know if she's still on here, but there's a chick that's on this line. I remember calling her, and for 8 years, she never answered when I needed her to answer. For 8 years, when she did answer, she would always rush me off the phone. For 8 years. But this particular time, she picked up the phone. And she and I had a conversation, and while the conversation that she and I had, she was a fuel to the fire for me because she challenged me to be me. She said, LaTanya, girl, you the queen of reinvention. Like, you can always reinvent. You can fix anything. Like, this is what she said. You don't live here, Pope, a small business. Like, if you can't fix it, it can't be fixed. Well, God didn't allow it to be fixed, but what he did, he started to reinvent me. And this is what I'll tell you. Reinvention is good if God is the one that's doing the reinventing. What time is it, y'all? Keep me on time because I can't be that long. Reinventing is good as long as it's God that's doing the reinventing. If we're reinventing ourselves because we don't like what the world say about us, then there's a problem. Reinventing is really good. Come on, we as believers, Sylvia, are considered all the time and we don't even know it. We blaming the devil and it's all God. God reinvent me. Michelle, ask him, but here again, your heart and your mouth has to match. And I'm not saying yours don't, but your heart and your mouth has to match. Your heart and your mouth has to be like Hannah. That's what we talk about in the book. Your heart and your mouth has to be like Hannah. Your cry has to be so loud that heaven answers and say, my baby is calling me. I got to answer her. She got some issues going on. That's what Confidential Conversations is about. So here was, I'm 15 years into being an entrepreneur. Thinking I had it all together. Thinking I knew everything that I could know. And my business was on the brink of failure. Come on, I'm almost done with this. 15 years as an entrepreneur, doing it by myself. And let me tell you what God said to me. He said, LaTanya, you don't trust me with your finances, and because you don't trust me to take care of you. How many of you entrepreneurs, I'm going to talk a conversation with y'all. How many of you entrepreneurs so hard at making your own money that you're not allowing God to bring the money to you? I'm not saying you can't make it, but where is it coming from? I was in this place where I was doing it. God wasn't in it. I was praying for my business, but he wasn't in the business. I was praying for the business, but God was never in the business. How many of us have these businesses, entrepreneurs, that we don't even pray for and include him? We don't even tithe off of our business. I know Laura Mays does, because that's my girl. How many of us have these businesses we don't even tithe from our businesses? Come on. Come on. God has her back from day one. How many of us are in that place where we don't include God in the process? We don't ask God, is this okay? Is this opportunity good for us to get in? Because a lot of us are in opportunities, come on, that we're not even supposed to be in, but because we didn't ask God. And that's what God was telling me. But Tanya, a lot of the things that you got into, yes, it made money for you. Yes, your business did what it had to do, but you didn't ask me if that was good money. You didn't ask me if the money was clean. You didn't ask me if it was okay to go into business, into partnership with those people. And so here it was. Hey, Stacy, here it was. I started to get into business with people that didn't mean my business any good. They didn't love God. So it made, so we do stuff. And this is real conversation. These are masks. So now I've been... Come on. She said, I have to because there's so much corruption. Yes, it is so much corruption. And you have to keep him in the face of your business. But that's in our relationships too. And so in this, we're talking about the place where we were. And I'm asking all these questions because I'm trying to start the conversation. Because going into next week and on Thursday, I really want us to have conversations. So I'm just kind of giving us a gumbo of conversations right now to make you really think about what you're thinking about. What is it that you're doing? Come on. You have to keep, I just said the other day, you have to write your vision and then go back and recommit your vision to God. Because it's his vision. He gave it to you anyway. So when you get the book, and I'm going to keep plugging my book, y'all, because that's what we're talking about, confidential conversations. Remember, it's 21 conversations, and I'm almost done. It's 21 conversations, personal conversations. While the main character in the story is me, the storyline is me, you can put yourself in every part of this book. Laura, rewrite your vision. This is what I told some people the other day. Rewrite your vision, commit it back to God, give it back to God and present it to him, because it might not be what he wants you to do in this season. And then ask him, who do I give my vision to? That's how you act. That's how the conversation with me went. When he started to break me in my business, because that's all I knew. That's all I knew for 15 years. That's all I knew was how to do business. And so that was the place that he had to break me. That's the place, whatever you, I hear it. Whatever you put in front of God is the very thing that he's going to break first. Confidential conversations. It's real talk, y'all. Whatever you put in front of God, whatever you make a precedent of before God, whatever you make more important than him, that's the thing that is susceptible to being broken. I began to put things before him. I began to put my business before him. That's chapter 1. That bruised me to have to lose my business it was 2 months before I had just won an award for a burgeoning business. I had just won the award and received, trophies and money and all this for being the business of the year in that category. So it was a slap in my face that my business, after receiving this award, come on, after receiving this award, God says, I'm going to consider that thing that you love the most. The very thing that you love the most, that you put before him, is the very thing that he's going to challenge. He's going to push and he's going to press it and see, do you really love it more than you love him? That's when it bruised me. He bruised me in my business. Yes. Yes, ma'am. So y'all got to know Laura Mays. I love Laura Mays. We roomed together one time, and yeah, we had a wig moment. But that's another story for another day. So listen, so think about this as we're getting ready to close. I got about 3 or 4 more minutes. Think about this as we get ready to close. What is it that you have allowed to take precedence over your relationship with God? What have you allowed to stand in between you and God? Is it a relationship? Is it a job? Is it your business? Your friends? Come on, what is it? Your money? What is it that you're putting before God? I love you, God, but I want to do it, God, but know this. Whatever you put before him is the very thing that you'll learn when you buy the book. That's the thing that he's going to break. That's the thing he wants to break. I don't believe it has, but I know I work too hard. And that's what you ask God, Laura. Because see, what we believe is not what he always believed. It's real simple. God, am I putting this before you? And then get into this place where you're real still. Because we'll ask the question. Here's what we do, ladies. We ask the questions, and right when he's getting ready to answer, we've already turned our back and left. So he can't give us the answer. Hey, Carolyn, listen, we ask God, God, show us what's wrong. And the minute he's getting ready to show us, we've already turned and walked away. That's how we are in some of our relationships. So when we ask God to tear down the idol, right? Come on and tear down my idols. When we ask God, God, what is it about me that makes you cry? Ask God that question. Because see, that's what you have to ask. What is it that makes you cry, God, about me? Okay, I got you. What is it, God, that makes you sad about me? What am I doing, God, that disappoints you? That's the conversation you have with God. And then sit there long enough to hear what he has to say. Sit there. He may not answer you right quick because it took you too long to come. I'm going to just say it. You want him to answer you immediately, but it took you 15 years to get him to the question. Hey, sister, it took you 15 years to ask him, God, why am I broke? And then you want him to answer you in 3 seconds. It's going to take a relationship. You're going to have to sit there for a minute. You're going to have to sit there like Mary. It's freezing. I don't know why it's freezing, Laura. Y'all, who else freezing? So listen, ask God tonight, what is it, God, that I'm putting before you? What is it that makes you cry about me? What's disappointing you about me? What am I doing? Come on. What am I doing, God, that makes you sad? And then shut up. I don't know why it's freezing. Let me see. I got a whole bunch of signal. I think that's y'all. Don't be blaming hey, Noble, don't be blaming my signal. When you ask God, shut up and listen. And wait for him to respond. That means you're going to have to not talk. Just like I'm not talking right now. That's what you're going to have to do. Be quiet. And when he shows you, listen to this. Thank you, Noble. Good to see you, brother. When he shows you who you are, then ask him, God, make me over. And be ready for the makeover. Be ready for the makeover. When you ask him, God, show me. And he begins to show you everything about you. Because he showed me some stuff about me, Lord. Shannon, you know me from back in the day. He showed me some stuff that I thought I had gotten rid of, but I had not. And when he showed me, I found myself, and I'm getting in the book now, in a fetal position, in tears, because I didn't realize I was that ugly. I was in a fetal position, balled up in a knot, because I didn't realize that I was that bad. Because I've masked it so long, the mask had me thinking I was better than what I was. When in fact, I had so much bad about me that because I masked it, I didn't know who the real me was. Some of us are in position right now that we don't really know who we really are, that who we truly are, because we have mastered so long. And we think the ugly about us is right. We think the bad attitude is okay. Oh, that's how he made us. The devil is a lie. God didn't make you that way. He didn't give you that bad attitude. He didn't tell you to go sleep with somebody else's husband. Come on, I'm finna before I get a little ratchet. He didn't tell you to go sleep with that woman's husband. He didn't tell you to go fornicate. He didn't tell you to go do some of the stuff that you did. But that's just how he made me. No, he didn't. He made you fearfully and wonderfully. He said that you were the apple of his eye. But now you want to mask it so the world don't get to see it. And so now you crawling up God. Oh, come on now. Ask him. Back in the day, I was something. Yes, Shannon. I was horrible back in the day. I wasn't that bad, but I wasn't that good. But ask God, show me. And then sit still long enough. Hey, Tommy, sit still long enough. Sit at his feet like Mary. Get still like Mary. Get intimate like Mary. And ask God, Lord, I just want to hear what you got to say. I don't want to really talk. I just want to know what you got, God. Come on. And then when he show you, be okay with being okay. Because what he's going to show you is not going to be pretty. Not in the beginning. So as we go through the book, it's a storyline, y'all. I'm just the actress in this play. God is the director in this book. I'm the actress, and when I tell y'all I acted out, I'm a great actress. Hey, Carol, I'm a great actress. So we going to laugh a bit. I might cry a little bit because I do still get teary-eyed when I talk about what I went through. But then I got to know that there was triumph, that I won this thing. I'm winning this thing. Come on. So I need you guys to go, and I'm going to plug it again. Disha, if you there, confidential conversations. While I'm the actress in the book, in this storyline, every woman in this forum right now can relate to every story, every conversation. If you can't relate to a story in this book, I'll give you your money back. That's how sure I am that this is the sister book. This is the book club book. Come on. This is the book club book, not because I wrote it, because it's real talk. It's real transparency in the book. It's intimacy in the book. It talks about some stuff in the book. But it challenges you to make you better. I'm done. Listen, I love you. I appreciate you. Do me a favor before we end. Disha, go and put my website on there for me. I love her. When I say I love Rhodesha Alford, that is like my girl. Put my website up there if you can, sweetie. LaTanyaDWalker.org. Go get the book. It's $15 right now. And I do have to plug this. I'm working on the last 9. There's 9 more chapters, 9 more conversations. God, I thought I was done talking to God about what was going on, but God has 9 more conversations that we're going to push out. But in order for you to know what the last 9 is about, you got to read the first 21. So read the first 21 with me. Confidential conversations. We're going to go from a place of being bruised and broken to a place of restoration, because that's what the first 21 talks about. You're going to go from bruised to broken. You're going to go where God begins to show you the blessings behind brokenness. That's what God told me in this chapter. He said, LaTanya, you want the world to know that you were bruised but not broken, but I want you to tell the world the blessings that come behind your brokenness. So yes, you may be broken right now, but God says that there are blessings that come behind brokenness, but I got to be the one to break you. In order for you to get the blessings that are due to you, I got to break you so that I can trust you with what I'm about to give you. Can I trust you with what I'm about to give you? You say you my rider. You say you ride or die. You going to ride with me till the wheels roll off. Can I really trust you? And so God takes us through this. We go through this journey. And remember, I'm just the actress in this skit. I'm just the actress acting out the part that he chose me to play. He is the director. He's doing it. I love you. I'm hanging up too because I got homework. Go in, get the book. 21 Conversations with God. The next 9 are coming. The last 9 is what they're called. The last 9. They're coming out really soon. And then I'm going to give you a plug. There's another story behind this story, because when I talked and asked God the questions, he had to come back and answer. So we got to know that there's a sequel coming behind it. So y'all come on, ride this wave with me. I love you. I will see you back here Thursday. 9 o'clock Central Standard Time. Tag your girlfriends. Let them know we're having confidential conversations. And I am looking for the bold sister who is going to ride with me. Thank you, Disha, to have conversations with me. We're going to have dialogue. So I'll see you back here on Thursday at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. Love you. Bye-bye.